Alishan is one of the popular destinations in Taiwan. The Misty Mountain is famous for its cypress forest and their hiking trails. And it was also said to have the best sunrise in Taiwan. But to us, planning Alishan trip was the most tedious and complicated as compared to the other parts of Taiwan. And in this video, we will share with you everything we had learned so that you will not make any mistake when planning yours. The first topic I would like to cover is the different ways to visit Alishan from Chiayi city.
Are you sure?
Excluding self-drive and booking your private hire, basically there are only 3 modes of transport. From Chiayi, you can engage a group tour service, or cruise with the scenic Alishan Forest Railway train, or simply go with the public bus services. Before I go further, I would like to highlight that I highly recommend staying at least one night at Alishan rather than a day trip. Often when we talk about Alishan, most people relate only within Alishan National Park. But there are also the so-called outer Alishan area like Eryanping, Shizhuo and Fenqihu. And we included some of these areas in our itinerary, which will easily take away half the day before arriving in Alishan. And within Alishan, no one should miss the main hiking trail. Also, staying for a night is the only way to see the famous sunrise of Alishan. And for those who like hiking, it can easily be a 2-night trip as there are a lot of hiking trails both at outer Alishan area and within. Taking part in a group tour is very convenient and also cost effective in a certain way, but you have least control and not able to customize your own trip. Not to mention some tour group can be quite rowdy. While Alishan Forest Railway offers a scenic train ride to Alishan, with some locals telling us that it is something we should try at least once in our lifetime. But this mode of transport offers little flexibility if you wanted to explore the outer Alishan area. And the train ride is around 5 hours, which personally I think it is too long. But the main problem is it is almost impossible to get our hand on any train tickets. The official site usually only release tickets for booking 2 weeks in advance, but they are all blocked by travel agents. And the only way is to try your luck to book online 1 to 2 days before your desired date. If there are unsold seats from the agents, you'll be released back online. But this is just not practical because we normally pre-book our hotel way in advance and the uncertainty just does not work for us. And the most economical way is by public buses. The straight journey from Chiayi to Alishan is slightly over 2 hours. Buses either start from Chiayi station or Chiayi HSR station, and they stop at most outer Alishan destination. On paper, it seems like a no-brainer to just go with these public buses, but it is much more complicated than you think. These buses are mostly always full. Queuing does not always guarantee you a seat. And online seat reservation is only possible if you are boarding the bus at terminal stops, which is either Chiayi or Alishan. And this poses a problem when you decide to alight at popular stops like Fenqihu with less bus frequency, as you're not guaranteed a seat when you try to board the next bus. You can either reserve a seat online or do it at Family Mart. If you do it online, you will still need to print your bus ticket at Family Mart to be able to board the bus. This is not a problem most of the time, but there's no Family Mart at Alishan at all. So if you pre-book a return trip from Alishan, just remember to print your tickets at Chiayi beforehand like us. With uncertainty and inconveniences, we decided to book a private transport on the day to Alishan, so we can have full control of our itinerary on the way up and take the public bus on the return journey the next day. As mentioned in our other Taiwan travel blog, most of the drivers here in Taiwan are very knowledgeable and as good as a tour guide.
对，如果觉得这个峡谷蛮漂亮，对，很漂亮，然后漂亮，蛮水域的。
Huh?
Oh, that's a reservoir.
Yeah.
In this Alishan vlog, we will include Chiayi as part of the itinerary, which we stay over for a night. Once at Chiayi HSR station, go to exit 2 where there will be direct bus to the city. And remember to present your HSR tickets so that you can get a free ride. We alight at the back of the old train station. You can grab a free ticket to cut across the stations at level 2, which will bring you to the main entrance of the station. And this location is likely the most important as it is the boarding point if you are taking train or bus to Alishan. And our hotel is just directly opposite. It is not a fancy hotel, but for the price, it has everything we need. Frankly, Chiayi City has never come across our mind as a place to go in Taiwan. It's more like a place of transit to Alishan. In a way, I think it's a good reason to finally get a chance to visit Chiayi. This is really kind of a nice little city, offering a more relaxing, laid-back atmosphere as compared to the other bigger cities like Taipei. Of course, you will not find extensive food and shopping choices here, but I think the F&B and shopping scenes are mostly adequate, and the best part is there are no crowds. If you Google, you can easily find activities to do within Chiayi and around it, but we just spent our day exploring the city without any plan. And of course, one of the most important part was trying the local delicacy.
Supposedly 这个 hotel 的人介绍的。
这边有猫的嘞。Oh my goodness. Hair clip, foot hair clip. 我可以放吗？ This one look like nuggets.
Our time in Chiayi was really a brief one. As mentioned, we did not make any conscious plan. All we wanted was to walk around and feel the vibe of this place. Next morning, we started early to explore the outer Alishan area. The outer Alishan area, namely Eryanping, Shizhuo, and Fenqihu, are populated with a series of hiking trails and tea plantations. This area also provides a variety of accommodation.
Above sea level.
Our initial intention was to walk a 2-hour trail with amazing view of bamboo forest and tea plantation, and has the driver to pick us up on the other end of the trail. But the weather that day was so bad and foggy that our driver advised us not to. There may be some safety concern. Well, this is one of those really shitty moments that we had done so much research just to end up with a bad weather to ruin our plan. We proceed to Fenqihu. This is a small town where trains make a rest stop, dated since the early 1900s. And that's when the locals started selling bento to passengers, and the famous railway bento culture has continued to present day.
2个我们4个人 share 嘞。
买2个拼的好。
哦，you prefer？
可以了。
哇，开不了。我开不了嘞。
来，配拿汽油。
Yes。
Other than being famous for their bento, there are also Fenqihu Old Street, selling all kind of local produce.
要不要冰块？
要，谢谢。
要不要加粉圆？
它只要原味。
原味的吗？
那个凤梨，对。
好的。
好看。
Apart from being a foggy day, Fenqihu is a town that is known for trapping fog because of the geographical location. Our driver shared with us that the fog which are trapped by the mountains on the three sides of the town, which literally look like a lake in the shape of an olden days dustpan. Hence the name of the town Fenqihu. The word Fenqi means dustpan in Taiwanese Hokkien, and Hu is lake. And since this is our first time here, we actually spent some time walking around the small town.
我们吃到完，等下再来买啦。我已经拍了吗？我已经在用这个。
The weather did not get better that day, so we went to a tea plantation which was operated by a friend of our driver. I mean, the weather is so bad that we did not even get a nice footage of the plantation. The boss and his wife is really nice and friendly, which frankly we are not surprised as we are not new to Taiwanese hospitality. The boss is a tea enthusiast and very passionate and proud of his tea, which by the way had won numerous awards. The whole time they are giving us tea tasting sessions of their award-winning teas and explaining to us the differences.
所以这样子的茶叶刚好做一颗的茶而已，因为你看它要这样子团揉。
500咯。
And before heading to Alishan, we dropped by Shizuo train station. Shizuo, which literally translates as cross junction, This is one of the stops of Alishan Forest Railway, and it used to be a traffic hub in the village before Alishan Highway was opened. Today, most of the residents here are the descendants of loggers during the Japanese occupation period or employees of the Forest Railway. This area used to be quite developed, having post office and other facilities, but the function died away after the commissions of the highway. And in the recent years, this train station is revived with new businesses like cafes, which operate straight from the resident's house. This is really just a small area, but still worth a visit if you have time and your form of transport allow. By the way, there's also hiking trail here, meaning that you can actually hike up here from somewhere else. By the time we reached Alishan, it was around 3 to 4 p.m. There is an entrance fee of $300 Taiwanese for each adult. And if you come here by bus, just show your tickets and you'll get an instant 50% discount. I will quickly explain the structure within Alishan Park. The main form of transport within the park is the train rides servicing between 3 stations of Alishan. The 4th station, Zhushan, is basically the station for seeing sunrise. I will not cover the official shuttle bus service provided by the park. Alishan Station is the main station and the nearest to the tourist hub, which is the main area where you'll find all sorts of shops and restaurants. There's even a post office here, and we were told that it's a popular activity for tourists to post an Alishan postcard back to themselves. There's a visitor car park at the lower level, and the visitor center is also on the same level. I'm going to give you a tip which I believe not many people know. There's actually a free luggage space provided at the very back. We actually store our luggage here on the second day after we check out of our hotel. Of course, this is totally at your own risk. If there's any concern, there's also paid locker within Alishan. The restaurants here are not really expensive, but there's even cheaper food options in the market district, which is just beside the car park. This is essentially hawker food stores. During our visit here, there are just a few stores, but good enough. We had our lunch here on the second day before we left.
So, exactly like bak chor mee.
There are quite a few hotels behind the parking lots area. We stay with Alishan Gou Hotel, which is located at Eryanping Station. I was told most of the Alishan's hotels sell out fast, and advance booking almost certainly will get you a cheaper rate. As this was quite an impromptu trip, we are quite lucky to secure our room at 4,900 Taiwanese dollar, while it was over 8,000 Taiwanese dollar for the other dates around the same period. Of course, this is still expensive as compared to the other part of Taiwan, but it is what it is for such a popular tourist destination. Eryanping Station is also where the main Alishan trail starts, saying that actually it's not necessary to take a train here to walk the trail, as there are walking paths connecting to most part of Alishan. Our hotel does provide free shuttle service to and fro to the main tourist hub, but timing-wise was not very regular, so we walked down for dinner the first night.
来啦 ，just 拍哦。
哈，你们直接在那里买的咯。
One of the must-do activity is to see the sunrise of Alishan, and I'm going to give you a few tips. You will need to purchase the sunrise train ticket to Zhushan station the day before. The train will start at Alishan station. It will also pick up passengers at Zhaoping station where we board the train. These trains are extremely packed, so there will be 2 to 3 trains to ensure no one miss it. But if you do not want to miss the first light, I will strongly suggest you to take the train from Alishan station, or simply just hike up, but you need a torchlight. The walk should take around 45 to an hour from Zhaoping station.
Come.
Once you exit Zhushan station, there will be some food store operating outside, and most people will just crowd around this area to see the sunrise. I would strongly suggest climbing up along the road for another 10 to 15 minutes. There are higher viewing decks with lesser people. During our visit, the viewing deck at the lower part was totally empty, which frankly I think was good enough if you want to be left alone. We continue a flight of stairs to the highest point, though there are some visitors there but far from being crowded.
Very lucky.
The sunrise was beautiful, but frankly not the best we have seen. And I think we are extremely lucky to see the sunrise on our very first overnight stay at Alishan, as many have said that it is not guaranteed to see a good sunrise due to the foggy and misty nature of its geographical location.
Why? Alishan 观日步道，走了。
哎，你们这边走要小心哦。你们一跌倒啊，就是。Very much similar to this. 哇，你看 ，this trip basically 只有我们一家人。
我问你的话，然后。
你觉得我会？
The main Alishan hiking trailhead is conveniently located right outside our hotel. We went for the hike after returning from seeing the sunrise and before checking out so that we still get a chance to shower after that.
它写什么？
铃木貂茶。
If you reference the map along the way, you'll be able to see all the important landmarks along the trail.
哦，他拍那个倒影。你们不要上去谈。
不要嘞，我怕有蚊子。哦，它真的会 shaky 的嘞。
我这拿这个怪怪的。First generation。
哦，那你刚才两个阿婆跑下来了。
他死掉了之后，然后又生 second generation。second generation 死掉之后，人。
说新闻爸爸那有一颗。
什么？
Most people will end their hike at Shizhou station and take the train ride back to Alishan main station. As Shizhou station does not link back to Eryanping station, we found an alternate path to loop back to our hotel instead. And this marked the end of another family adventure in Taiwan. Though it was not all smooth sailing, we did not get to do the hike and see the scenery of outer Alishan area, but lucky to catch a clear sunrise the next morning. And most importantly, as I have always mentioned in my other videos, we are really appreciative of being able to experience a new adventure together as a family. These are really moments we treasure and try our best not to take it for granted.